Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing a beautiful dress watch called Atlantic Worldmaster. I have my drink. If this is your first time here, feel free to grab a glass, put some ice, and drink a whiskey, drink some wine, whatever you want, and just join me for the next 10 minutes here while I go over this watch. So to you, whoever's watching this, I'll raise my glass and take a sip of my cognac today. And now we can talk about this watch. So Atlantic is a Swiss company from 1988. And I've done another video on Atlantic watches. But today is this guy's turn. This is an Atlantic Worldmaster. It's an automatic piece. On my wrist today is my Atlantic, my old Atlantic. I have a video on this. This is a 1970s, 1980s perhaps. This is called an Atlantic Worldmaster Original. And you can see some really nice design with lovely distortions on this watch. Now, the one in my hand now is the new version of the watch that's on my wrist. So Atlantic, I'll do very quick about the company a little bit. It is an old company, Swiss company. It's still Swiss owned. It's still a private company. And it is not well known in the US at all. In other parts of the world, it is mostly Europe, Eastern Europe, Poland, Romania, where I'm from, Bulgaria, Croatia, whatever, kind of Eastern Europe. You will see people who have a history with watches like this. So I purchased this from Atlantic. And I wanted the new version of the old Atlantic that I have. So in my culture, Atlantic was around for many years. You know, in my country, we didn't have, you know, Rolexes and Omegas. We had, you know, Atlantic watches. We had Doxa, whatever you want to call it, and other Swiss companies. So Atlantic was a huge part of our history when it comes to watches. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit over details with this watch. This is a 40 millimeter watch. It's doesn't sit very big as the case. It has pretty much the same design as my old one when it comes to the case. They kept the same design. It's all nice and polished and everything. So it's a dress watch. It's not going to be, there's no brushed surfaces. Now, movements. They use ETAs and they use Salida movements. This is a beautiful open case, so you can see the movement. It's obviously automatic. These have 28,000 beats per hour. Now, the most interesting part about this watch is this beautiful dial. And I wanted this specific version because, as you can see when I run my finger, certain angles, the way the light reflects on this dial, you can see the Arabic numerals are all silver. So is the dial, so is the case. So depending on how you look at this watch, you will see the design on this lovely dial. Not that many watches are done like this anymore. You see very few. There's some Seikos that have this. There's others, but this sunburst design is something that is truly special, and it's not that many watches that have it. So design wise of the dial and the indices, still keep with the same design. This my old piece here, I think the 1950s, perhaps early 60s, they came up with this design, this Art Deco design. And they're still keeping the same exact thing. And that's why I purchased this piece, because it's something that's very unique. And I don't see anybody with this watch. I mean, I have an Instagram account, I'm there all the time. I think I've seen maybe 4 or 5 pictures of this watch, and there's millions of pictures of watches on Instagram. So uniqueness is the number one thing about this watch. Now, I don't wear it on this bracelet, on this strap. So I'm gonna change the strap. This has a kind of a crocodile looking, man, it's nice. It's just not my thing. I'll put it on my hand quick just to give you a quick shot of it. But I wanted to buy this and put a nice kind of a vintage, and it looks nice on this. Don't get me wrong, and maybe, you know, one day I'll wear it on this, but I'm going to show you the strap that I wear this on, and hopefully you realize why I have it on that. I'll be right back. I'll change this strap on it. All right, guys, so this is how I wear this watch on this beautiful vintage looking, this is a Kolareb strap. It's not the cheapest thing, it's not the most expensive strap, but I think it looks amazing on this kind of vintage look strap on this. So let me show you how this wears on my hand now, and I'll give you, you can see a little bit now with the way the light hits that dial, how those Arabic numerals change color on it. It is absolutely stunning, this piece. So let me put it on my hand quick, and I'll show you how I wear this watch. So there you have it. This is my Atlantic Worldmaster on this beautiful Kolareb leather. I think it looks good. That might not be to everybody's taste, but it is to my taste. So, you know, I'm gonna drink to that. So let me know what you think. Is this a watch that you would go for? And if it's not, why? It's something that you're not gonna see if you want something unique. You know, watches like this is what you want. I mean, there's millions of Seikos, and there's millions of, you know, other watches that you see everywhere. Why not get something that's special? Why not get something that not everybody has? And that's the reason why I like this piece. Now, that's not the only reason. I mean, I grew up in a country where people had Atlantic watches. So if you are born and raised in the US, you know, something like this might not be that impressive to you. And I understand that. But if you watch this from different parts of the world, if you are, you know, born and raised in Europe, I'm sure in Eastern Europe at least, I'm sure you heard of Atlantic watches. So this means a lot more to people who grew up with this, with a piece like this, than if you've never heard of it. But if you never heard of it, why not try something that you don't see on everybody's hand? So let me turn this on quick. I mean, it's a Swiss movement. It's what you see in all the movements. So that's about it. It has a beautiful sapphire, so you're not going to scratch it or anything. Thickness, this is a pretty thin watch. It's about 10 millimeters. It's not a thick watch. There's a beautiful small crown that has the logo of Atlantic. Again, it has open design in the back. Now, some negatives, some positives. Positive, It's a piece you're not going to see in everybody's hand unless you live, in Poland. It seems like the Polish culture has this watch. This company has really deep roots in Poland, even though it's a Swiss company. But that's where they have their first stores, and that's where it became part of their culture. So you're not going to see a lot of them, for example, in the U.S. where I live. Nobody has something like this unless you are in New York and you live in an area where there's a lot of Eastern Europeans, and they've heard of pieces like this. But so it's something very unique, something that it's going to stand out compared to other watches. Another positive, this gorgeous dial that you don't see very often. This sunburst design is truly something special. Well, to me, I believe it is. Now, negative. This is my old piece with a beautiful acrylic crystal. This is obviously sapphire. You're not going to scratch it. You're not going to do anything to it, but there's no distortion. You have this, sapphire, which is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't. You see, it doesn't do justice to this dial. It would have been so much nicer if it still had the acrylic. But it is what it is. That's the only negative I have, and that's a very stupid negative because they're made with sapphire because it lasts a lot longer. So. Lume wise, it has lume on the hands. It has lume at every hour. It has nothing really to brag about. This is a dress watch. It still keeps this beautiful design of the second hand. That's the tip in red, just like the original one has it in red. It's a beautiful piece of design, and I'm happy they kept it. Now, they still have this piece for Atlantic in a truly manual. Now, it wasn't available when I was looking for it, so I had to buy this piece. Now, lovely people at Atlantic, they sent me some beautiful little light or whatever, but they sent me this nice pen that has their information on it. I didn't ask for it, so they just included it with my buy. So that's very nice of them. So that's about it on this watch. If you want something truly unique, something that you're not going to see on a lot of people's hands, this is a great conversation piece. You go somewhere and you meet watch people, they will have no idea what this is, but you will have something special in your hand. You would have, all the other guys with Omegas and whatever, dress watches they wear. And you would have something that nobody else has. So to me, that's worth it. To other people, it's not worth it. They want something, whatever they want. But trust me, you're not going to see a lot of these. So if you're looking for something special, this is a very special watch. They also have this in black dial, just like this, but I don't want two black watches. I think it looks gorgeous in the black dial with the design of this sunburst. You wind it a little bit, and it's just a automatic ETA movement. That's it for today. Let me know what you think about this watch. Is this something that you would consider buying, even though it's not very well known in the U.S. Now, if you don't live in the U.S., whatever. But it's a gorgeous piece. I'll show you just a little reflection on that dial. I have a couple of pictures on this on Instagram. If you get certain angles, shots of this watch, it becomes a very interesting piece. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for taking the time. I'll drink the rest of my cognac here and I'll see you in the next video. Have yourself a safe day, and I'll see you next time.